Hello drone racers, I'm Mark and welcome to Drone Racer 101. This is the end of 2017. Can you believe it's passed already? So what I'm going to do is recap some of the best things that I found for 2017. Now these didn't all necessarily come out in 2017. Some of them might have come out in 2016, but these were the best of 2017, meaning if it lasted the whole year, it didn't get replaced by something else. So I've got a whole bunch of categories. What I'm gonna do is keep these up to date on my online spreadsheet. There's a link for that down below, and I've got a special tab that the best of, so as these things get replaced and as something else does come out that's better or I like better, I'm going to add it to that sheet. Also, I'm sure I'm gonna miss some categories, so I'll go through and add those as I go. Just even as I've been recording, I've already added a new category that I forgot. I mean, how could I forget best 2-inch drone, even though it's not quite 2-inch? We'll get to that later. Anyway, kicking it off, best Tiny Whoop. A Tiny Whoop is a brushed indoor flyer. Now, I just tested another brushless on the bench last night. It didn't work, but they're gonna get this figured out. This is the Eachine E010S or E10S, and it's basically an E10 except with upgraded everything. And it comes with one of the still clearest cameras I have seen. So this is still my go-to that I grab when I want to fly a Tiny Whoop, partially because the camera's so clear. And a lot of times if I'm flying a Tiny Whoop now, it's because I'm testing goggles. So it makes it very clear, it's very easy to control, and it originally shipped with Betaflight, and I've been able to update it all the way to current version. So it's still going and it's still my number one. Most of the time at least, because in this category I have two honorable mentions, and they are both from King Kong. You can tell because they come in a bin. This is the Tiny 6 and this is the Tiny 7. The Tiny 6 is actually a little bit of a better flyer than the E10S. I think it might be faster than the E10S, and it's definitely faster, but the camera isn't quite as good. So for that reason, I still end up grabbing, and out of habit, I think, I grab the E10S. It's a really close call between these two. I get questions like, oh, the E10S or the Tiny 6. You know what, they're both great. You can't go wrong either way. And then the other one is actually the Tiny 7, and you'll notice it's a little bit bigger. So because it's a little bit bigger, and this frame, look at this, how strong this frame is, it's actually stronger. So if you're not gonna be racing, this is the one I like. I really like the Tiny 7, and if it's just me flying around and people are like, oh, I just need something for winter that I can fly around and not break. You know what, with the bigger motors and the bigger battery, especially if you get the advanced pack that comes with the 5 batteries and the really nice charger that I even reviewed separately, this is the way to go because it flies longer, and I really like it. It's a really nice flyer, but it's not quite as fast, and if you go Tiny Whoop racing in multi-GP, technically this doesn't qualify because of the 7mm motors. But if it's just you planning on flying around your house, I'd probably go with the Tiny 7 because I really like it. But for me, that's a little bit of a moot point because for what I'm doing, the Tiny Whoops have been replaced completely by this. This is the King Kong ET100, and it has become my main indoor flyer. This thing is nearly indestructible. I just smashed it into the wall over and over and over as hard as I could, and I haven't broken anything. The only problem I had with it at all was the camera wasn't great, but I've upgraded that. I did a video upgrading that, and I enabled turtle mode on it, so now if I crash it inside, I can flip it over, which is a huge deal if I'm flying inside. It's a little more expensive than the Tiny Whoops, but this is my favorite drone right now flying inside by far. If I do indoor videos, which it's winter, there's snow outside, so there's gonna be a lot of them, this is the one I'm gonna grab. If I'm doing goggle reviews inside, this is the one I'm gonna grab. With the Eachine Nano, it's just great. So this is the King Kong ET100, and if you're just planning on flying inside, you want something fast, super durable, really control, and don't have to get up if you crash, that's my pick. So 2017 was the year of the 2-inch drone. There were a ton of them in that 90 to 110mm range. I don't know how many we got, just over and over and over. But one stood out that was the one that I picked over and over that was just my go-to, and it is the Leader 120. Now, technically it's not a 2-inch. These are like 2.5-inch props, but it still fits in that category for most people. The Leader 120 is just a smooth flyer. It's not the fastest of the 2 inches. It's not as fast as the Airfun Pro or the Lizard or some of the others, but it's the most fun to fly for me. It's the one that if I'm gonna go outside and fly and I want a 2-inch, this is the one that I grab. It's just smooth, nice, and pleasant to fly. It's plenty fast, don't get me wrong, but it's just not over the top crazy. So it's my top pick though, mainly because what I base this on is when it's time to pick a drone, which one do I grab? And it is the Leader 120 still. But part of the reason the 2 inches were so popular this year is because of all the government regulations all over the place for being under 250 grams. And they just reinstituted this in the United States where you have restrictions where if you don't want to register, you want something under 250 grams, you were kind of stuck with a 2-inch. But now I have a best 250 or under milligram drone. This includes the battery, and it is the XJB 145 because this thing is an absolute ripper. This thing is a 5-inch drone in a 3-inch drone package. So I'm not gonna call this a 3-inch drone because there's gonna be several in this category of under 250 grams. But this thing absolutely rips, and for the price, it is a huge pleasure to fly, and I can get it under 250 grams even with a HD camera on it. Now it's a Mobius Micro, which a lot of people don't have and don't even seem to know about. Everybody's like, you can't stick a GoPro on there. But with the Mobius Mini, the flight footage is really spectacular, and it's just a great flyer. I still got the stock blades on here. I actually bought a whole bunch of blades to try just to see which one would be the best, but I just, time. Oh, I haven't gotten to it yet. I want to though. I want to fly this a lot more because I really, really like it. Now I don't have any 4-inch drones, so I really don't have a category for that. So now we're gonna move on to best budget 5-inch drone, and that's a clear winner with the Beeflight 210. This was $99 for a lot of people. A whole bunch of people got this drone for $99. Now you can get it for about $129, and when new $99 coupons show up, I'll update those on the spreadsheet because this is a spectacular value. This drone was just great for getting a whole bunch of people started. The motors have worked well. The whole components, the whole combination. Well, I broke my antenna in 30 seconds the first time I got it. I kind of forgot about that, but now they give you the replacement attachment so you can put a traditional antenna on there. This thing blows the heck out of Stu's $99 build, which still includes a NASA. Don't buy that thing, holy crap. That thing won't even load in a beta flight soon. So here, this is an F3. It's a way better value. Just this is the way to go if you need the absolute cheapest 5-inch you can get, and even above, it's worth well more than that. But there are a lot of 5-inch options out there. So if you don't need to stick under $99 when you can get it, you have a little more in the $150 to $170 range, you can actually step up quite a bit. And there were a lot of options in this category. But in the end, there ended up being a pretty clear winner, at least for me and some other people. And it is one of the first ones that came out from Furby this year. The X215 Pro. So some people have had problems with this one, but mine has been really nice. And I think it's been the most consistently good for a lot of people, partially because it comes with a Holybro flight controller. It's really, really nice flight controller. All the components for me have held up really well. It comes with decent motors. It comes with a really nice frame, and it's one of the best flyers in the price range. Everything about it has been very sturdy. I smashed mine hard and it went right back together and it's fine. So this would be a good long-term flyer for a whole bunch of people. That it's very, very versatile. It's a little more flexible. You can get more camera angle. That's one of the big things than you can with the Beeflight. The frame's just a little bit thicker. Everything's just a little bit stronger. Flight controller's quite a bit better. So for the extra price, it's actually quite a bit better. But then in the 5-inch category, we have one more option. This is the best high-end drone. And this is the one I reviewed. I didn't review America or Norris or some of those others. So there are some higher end drones than I've got. But really what brought this down is this is a high-end drone for me in the $200 to $300 price range. And it started at $300, but then it came down and you can get it for $220 at the moment with a code that's going to expire in a few days. But it is the Holybro Kopis. It is spectacular. I've never flown anything quite like it. It has the same flight controller as the X215, but I don't know what's different. It just is a beauty to fly. The control that I feel like I have with this is just to a whole other level. So in 2018, right now, if I go racing, if I go real racing, which doesn't happen very often, despite the name of the channel, the Holybro Kopis is the one that I'm going to grab. It's the one I'm going to practice with. It's the one I am going to take racing. It's not going to compete at the top level of multi-GP. It is not that level of drone. But for most of us, I kind of specialize in, hey, we're going to be flying around, and I go racing sometimes, and then I mostly fly in my backyard and I want spectacular products. This is the one because it's just amazing the way it feels in the air. So then somehow you've got to power all these drones. So it's kind of become clear to me after testing a whole bunch of brands over the year that one manufacturer has been much more consistent than all of the rest, and that is G&B. So these batteries have just been really, really nice. They've been very consistent quality-wise. I've got a number of them here. I've got 1300s, I've got 1500s, I've got little 550s, I've got all sizes of these, and they've become the ones that I grab every time I need to go out flying first. If I have a charge pack, they're the ones I grab because they are consistently really strong, good batteries. I haven't had a bad one yet, so I did not expect this at the beginning of the year. I originally bought the first one just because they were the only high voltage batteries, and that's how most of them ship. And I haven't charged them to high voltage, but even at regular voltage, they've been just really, really nice. They may not be the absolute lightest. My Pulse batteries are lighter, but for 4S and smaller batteries, they just do a really, really good job. So now on to how do you control the quadcopters. The radio is one of the most important purchases you're gonna make because it kind of defines which receivers you're gonna use, which bind and flies you can get. So I've got 3 categories. The best budget radio, when you're on a budget and you wanna get in the air, it's better to have something than nothing. Best first radio and best radio. I think the best budget radio is the iRange or FlySky i6X. This has been around for a while and this is still the one that I pick, and it's an i6, but it's 10 channels. So that makes a huge difference because I'm using 8 channels in most of my even default configs. 6 channels is not enough anymore. So those extra channels get you all the extra connections for options like flip over after crash. Now a lot of people are gonna get this in a combo pack because this comes with a lot of ready to fly models. So it's a good option if you get the Eachine Wizard. This is what it comes with. That's actually where mine came from, the Wizard X220S. I don't use it very often, but sometimes I need a FlySky compatible model and I'll grab this radio. And it's a good radio. It's a good flexible radio because it supports, as far as I know, all of the FlySky protocols. I'm not a FlySky expert, but it will work with any of the FlySky bind and flies that you've got. So, and it's about $45. So for the price, it's a really nice flexible radio for you, but it's still not my first pick because I'm a FreeSky guy and this is my pick for the best first radio. At $100, it's double the price, but as a long-term investment and value, I don't think it gets any better than the QX7. It's just a really nice radio that will do everything you will ever need. It might not be the best at everything. It doesn't have a charging port. I just can't believe they still haven't put a charging port in this thing. That's the one thing that really knocks it for me. But it is a spectacular radio and a great value. And if this was available 3 years ago when I was really getting into quadcopters and switched to FreeSky, I would absolutely have this, and this would be my #1 radio. Probably the S version would be the one that I would be recommending for the top, but it's not. So my top radio choice, even with all the new Horus options that came out last year, is still the FreeSky X9D Plus SE, the special edition with the Hall effect gimbals. Really, there's no reason not to buy the special edition now. It's pretty much the same price as the standard Plus, so don't buy the Plus. I still see people buying the Plus. Don't buy the Plus. For $229 at the moment, or even $250, this comes with all the upgrades, the removable antenna, the Hall effect gimbals, the water effect on it, which whatever. It comes with all the upgrades that you need for this. It would be nice if it had the wireless training option like the QX7S, but I don't use that anyway. It's not a big deal to me. And the extra switches and options just feel right. And it's partially because I started with an X9D that now I want the SE. And this is the radio that I grab every time that I'm gonna fly, unless I need something else because of a different protocol. But even then, it's got the bay for the multi-protocol module. If you're gonna fly long range, the module for Team Black Sheep is actually compatible with this. So that's the one that you want for that. So if you're just going to buy a radio and budget isn't really a concern, this is the one that I would get. At $250, it is the perfect long-term option that you will be able to use for many, 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 many years. Okay, so I'm jumping in here in the middle because I forgot a whole category. Goggles. Best starter goggles. The Eachine EV800D are still my top pick for goggles. I like the EV100s. They look really good to me. They're really clear, but these still win out as the first pick. They're cheaper for one, and they're more versatile because you can hand these to anybody. They can put them on if they take off their glasses, but most people I've seen can see in these just fine without their glasses on. So if you have these, and then you upgrade to something better later, these are a great second set, but then they have the diversity, they have the built-in DVR, they do a really good job, they have a great playback. I still love that they come apart, so when I wanna show somebody, I just did a flight and then Aiden and I wanted to look at something, we could just take them apart and we could both look at it together. So they're really nice for that. They're a little bit heavy, but for the features that you get out of them, they are definitely a great choice. But my top pick for goggles at the end of 2017 are the Amway Commanders. These just kind of revolutionized the market here with the built-in diversity. This one doesn't have the head tracker, but you can get a model with built-in head tracking that's an extra $100. And these all came out for about $300. You get them for under $300 pretty easy now. And the quality on them is just spectacular. They end up being several $100s cheaper than the equivalent Fat Sharks. They're not quite as versatile because you can't change around the modules, but I haven't needed to. Now this is one category I can say I totally expect to change by the end of 2018. These goggles are great. I think we will have even better options. A couple companies tried and failed to replace these as the best value, but there are a lot of companies right around the corner that will basically have the equivalent of these, maybe with module options, but with much clearer screens. I'm hoping for the EV100 technology for the focus because I can't get these to focus very well. I've got some prescription diopters on the way to be able to take care of that issue. But because of that, sometimes I still grab my other goggles. But for now, at the end of 2017, I think these are the best option that is available. So those are all racing drones, but sometimes you need other options. You need camera drones, you need toy drones for your kids to get started with. When my son was 5, I didn't let him fly racing drones. I do now, he does a pretty good job. But if you need an option just for the best option for a toy drone to get started with, could you see that? It's this. It's the Eachine E11 quadcopter, and it comes with a Lego top because Legos are awesome. So I reviewed this, we did jousting with it, we had 2 of them, we made them crash, we did all kinds of things. Plus, it opens up, it's really strong, so you can put a camera on it. These are 7mm motors, so they're very strong, very powerful for being able to fly around if you want to add FPV to it. I never got around to it, I don't know why, but I needed to. And that's just one of those other things that I didn't have time to do this year that I wanted to. But this is the best option for getting started because for a kid, it's fun. You can put Legos on it, you can make your own stuff. It'll lift quite a bit of weight. And then if you want to turn it into an FPV tiny whoop, you can do that and it's all ready to go. Let's say you want to fly inside, you want more of a selfie type drone, that's what they call it, it's weird. But you want a 2-megapixel higher definition camera instead of a toy flyer that you can put Legos on. I've reviewed a few of those this year and none of them that you've seen a review for yet made that list. But what did was this. This is the Eachine E56, I believe is what it is. And it still looks pretty much exactly like all those others. It has folding props. It comes with a nice box. I haven't done this review yet, but I have flown it and I was shocked by the level of control that you get out of this thing for $35, $40, I don't know, it was cheap. Has really, really nice control and made really, really nice videos. Even though it just streams it to the phone you recorded on your phone, the quality of the picture was super duper clear. So I've got a review coming for this soon. I ended up redoing it because I kind of made fun of it during the unboxing and was shocked by the level of quality. So I'm just gonna redo that one from scratch because it's a really nice option for that type of drone. Maybe the drone that you give your daughter that's not interested in racing. How about that? This would be the drone that my daughter would be interested in. Okay, but if you want to go outside, you have the next category of the best budget GPS camera drone. And I reviewed 4 or 5 of them this year. And when I wanted to go out and just show one to somebody, I kept going back to the same one. So that made that the best option for this for me. And that is the Bugs 2W. One, I kept it in the box because it's a nice box and it makes it really nice and portable and easy to use. But it is the drone that I use regularly, especially now that you can get extra batteries for it. That was a problem for a while, but now you can order extra batteries for it. The radio that it comes with is nice. The display that you get, the information you get, the range that you get out of it is really good. And the video looks good. It's not stabilized on a gimbal. It's not one you can control, so it's a budget model. But it's the best flyer of the bunch. And I've taken it out all over the place and it did a really good job for the price. And it ranges anywhere between $120 and $250. So if you can get a good deal on it, maybe by checking my spreadsheet, it is a great flyer. And it's a whole lot of fun for someone who wants a camera drone but doesn't want to get into racing. And apparently those people still exist. There's people who don't want to get into racing. They want a drone, but they're not interested in going out and racing with you. So that's actually my next category, the drone for people who don't really want a drone. They want a camera platform, but they don't want to be a professional photographer. They don't need 4K. So it's a really clear winner for this topic. I was blown away by the DJI Spark. How easy it is, how good it is, how nice it does everything that it's supposed to do. I just took it out of the box and flew it around in my house and it was perfectly stable. I could record the kids, I could fly up and record filming down. I still need to record a review of it, but it is just a spectacular piece of technology, and that's really what it is. It's a flying piece of technology that happens to have a camera on it that you can record with. If somebody says, oh, I want a drone, what are you gonna do with it? I don't know, film the kids, have it follow me around. This is the one. There are cheaper options, but none of them are even close to comparing to this thing and how good it is, how well it does what it says it's gonna do. I think everybody should just have one. I think on Flight Test, they called it the drone I would buy my mom. Like, yep, that's the one. It's the drone I would give my wife. She's like, oh, I want a drone to do something with, or hey, can I borrow a drone to record this thing we're gonna do? Like, yes, she can take the Spark, and in like 3 minutes, I've got her taught on how to do everything. I took it in and flew it around my office, and several people have bought it there just because it just flew around the office and just did a great job. And you can't crash it going forward. You can crash it going backwards. I did that. Oops. There might still be a hole in the wall. But the Spark is small and it's compact and it's really portable, but it's not a 4K camera. So do you need a 4K camera? Well, if you do, there are some really high-end options, but now I'm a cheapskate. I don't want to spend $1,500 on a Phantom 4. Thankfully, I don't, because of the new Phantom 3 SE that is totally getting blown out by the light. This is a Phantom 3 SE, trust me. This thing is a 4K, I got 3.5K range out of it, drone that just does a spectacular job taking off. And there was a shootout between this and the Xiaomi Mi drone that I've still got to record, but I laid out like 29 categories on which one was better. And in the end, the one I would pick, mainly because it's going to be long-term consistent, is the Phantom 3 SE. Now, I don't know if you can get one today at the end of 2017, but by 2018, there should be stock available for them again. If you just want a 4K platform and don't worry about the size and you want a great value, this is the one to do. It's a lot bigger than a Mavic. The Mavic box is a quarter the size of this and will do more, but it's also 2 to 3 times the price. It's also kind of heavy. I'm not gonna put that one up top, but I reviewed that and I'm just really thrilled. I started by reviewing the box itself because the box, I haven't bought a box for it because the box it comes with is really nice. I've been really happy with that drone, and if I'm gonna go out and do what I would call a professional photography session, that's the one I would grab right now. Well, at least that's the one I would buy for that. I would grab my Mavic now, but I haven't even gotten it out of the box. That's a whole other issue. That's for 2018, we'll see. So that leaves us, after all of those, with my drone of the year. What is my drone pick of the year? My favorite drone of the year? Which one would I get going into 2018? And this is where a lot of times in these, they pull out something totally different, but I'm not gonna do that because I think that's stupid. My drone pick of the year is the XJB 145. This is the best drone that I would recommend for you who have hung out through this video and are still watching, because it is under 250 grams with the battery, with everything. And that's becoming a bigger and bigger deal everywhere. It's gonna be a big deal in the United States. It's a big deal internationally, lots of places. This is a drone that you can fly most places, that it flies like a 5-inch. You'd swear you're flying a 5-inch, and I haven't recorded the speed on this thing. I really need to, if the stupid snow would go away. It is super fast. It flies really well. The flight time is probably the biggest difference from a 5-inch. But at under 250 grams, even with the HD camera, yeah, drone of the year right here, the XJB 145. So if I've learned anything though, this list is going to change throughout the year. So I'm not going to record these every month, but I might do an update every 3 months, every 6 months. Leave a like and a comment down below and let me know how often you want to see an update for this. I will definitely keep my spreadsheet up to date. There's a tab just for my favorite choices right now, so I can update these and update links and include special codes and all that kind of thing, because these are definitely the best deals in some cases because of the prices that I was able to get them for. Like the Kopis for $199. At one point, you can get a Kopis for $199. You can't today, but I will track that on the sheet and try and keep the best deal available that I know about. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you're not following me on Patreon, go ahead and check that out. There's a link for that down below too. The Patreon group that we've got is just spectacular, and that's the place that's really going to help the channel grow, because when that grows to a certain level, then we can start making videos every day or twice a day. I would love to be able to answer every question that comes up in the comments, and the channel's already big enough that I can't do that, and people want me to test things and I can't do that. So if you haven't checked that out and you're still here, you're still watching this video, you must have liked something. Go check out Patreon, and even at the $1 level, it makes a difference and it builds up over time. And I really appreciate those guys. So until next time, remember, we got great options in 2017. We're gonna get even better options in 2018. But don't wait for the latest, greatest thing. Don't wait for the next technology, because there's always gonna be something better. You could wait forever. It's just like a smartphone. The next one's always gonna be better. When the time is right for you, jump in, get the best quality equipment that you can for your money. Things that you can use long-term, like good goggles and good radios, but drones are pretty disposable at this point. There's gonna be a great $99 option next year that's gonna be better than anything that came out this year. So don't wait. When you're ready, go for it and go out and fly.